Hello, how's it going? Vasco here from the Angular University. So at this point we have here our first API call, but we don't have yet an API server. And I know that you want to try to use NGRX Store as soon as possible in this course. So here is what we're going to do. We are going to build the REST API, the main method of the REST API, step by step later. Right now, to get the ball rolling and so that you try NGRX Store as soon as possible, let's do the following. At this point in the course, let's switch to a branch where you already have an API server running. This way you will be able to start calling the REST API and using NGRX Store. Don't worry, further on the course we are going to build the server step by step. Right now, what you want to do is, in the command line, you want to type git branch, and this will give you a list of branches that will be different than what you see here. But you will see a branch here called start with NGRX store now. What you want to do is, you want to check out that branch, okay? At this moment, you have switched to this new branch, so you can confirm that using git branch. What you want to do at this point is you want to do npm install, and this will take a moment. It will install all the dependencies that you need to run your REST API server. Don't worry, we are going to explain each of the dependencies in a following section. So once everything is installed, what you want to do is you want to start your REST API server because it's already here. If you go here to your package.json, you're going to see here a task, an npm script called api-server. So let's just run it from the command line. We simply type npm run api-server. As you can see, this starts a server on port 8090. So if you open a browser and you hit the port 8090 and you add the URL /api/threads, so here is the complete URL here in blue, you will have here a JSON response, so your server should be running at this point. So we are ready to use this in our application. Or are we? Because this is running in a different port, right, than the Angular CLI development server. Let's try this out. Let's do the following. We open a separate window and we can see here that the npm start script is running the Angular CLI in proxy mode. So what does that mean? Let's take a look at this proxy.conf.json. This means that any requests to a URL starting with /API are going to be redirected from the Angular CLI development server to the API server. So we are running the Angular CLI in proxy mode. Let's type npm start. This will start the Angular CLI in development mode and with the proxy configuration turned on. So if we now go to localhost 4200, we should have here a running application without any errors in the console, which is the case as we can see. And now take a look at this. We are running on port 4200, but if we hit /api/threads, we are going to receive the same JSON response. So our development server is running. Let's take a look at the response. The response is what we would expect, and it matches the type all user data that we have defined here. So we have here an array of participants, and this is the exact data of the participant in the database. It's the same participant object. We have here a list of messages that is defined here. So this is all the data of a given message. And we have here a list of threads on which the participant is subscribed to. Now, at this point, we are assuming that you are logged in with participant 1, which is Alice. We're going to see later on the course how to switch user. Right now, what we really want to do is we want to take the result of this API call that we are doing here, and we want to display this data on the screen using NGRX Store as soon as possible. So how do we do that?